team that people expected after the first week of the season that was first place in the North American LCS, 2-0, 3-0 today, and move on to the semi-finals. What a showing from Team Liquid. Very happy with that performance all around from the fans. Steve, Aaron said as well, very happy. Give the coach a hug as well. What a play from these guys. Counter Logic Gaming to come in, tried so many different things, and Team Liquid was able to organize. Team Liquid ran 3 distinct different team compositions in this series. Throughout the season, it seemed like Team Liquid was struggling to find that identity. What were the picks and the strategies they wanted? Would they focus farm onto Quas? Would they allow Dominate to farm more? How can they play with Piglet in this team who is so demanding as an AD carry? They may have finally figured out. Run some compositions around protecting him, run others where Quas can be on a carry, stay unpredictable. Very good choice for them indeed. Having Quas on such a versatile champion, really helping the team. Other teams can't really focus on that. You got to focus on banning other things. But when Team Liquid kept changing up the way they played, that's what started to come back for them. Counter Logic Gaming as well. The Morgana bans all the time, definitely a question that needs to be answered. Something that they had in their mind that would work into their play style, but it seemed that it was just they had 2 bans all the time almost. There will be a substantial amount of people looking at this series in retrospect and trying to figure out what CLG should have done, what could have they have done better, how did they play better, what mistakes did they make in game. Right. And you better believe, like, that is just going to happen. CLG is such a big brand here in the North American LCS, and again, they have undershot expectations in the playoffs. They will be thinking about that. Team Liquid will be thinking about Cloud9 now. Yeah, it's so funny. This is what happened last year in the playoffs. The second round matchup was Curse versus Cloud9. That's after right. CLG had been 3-0'd. Everything changes, yet everything remains the same for these teams. Unbelievable. A definite shock for them as well. Counter Logic Gaming did not expect that. Teams will come in saying there's a chance, you know, that there's faltered there, but this was completely unexpected, especially a 3-0, a game lost 3-2 is something that happens. You've given your all, you've left it on the field, but to walk away with that means, you know, what happened? I mean, what have we... The regular season for CLG, 12-6, spending the majority of the season in second place, having 2 opportunities to take first place against TSM, falling in those high-pressure games during the regular season. Never finding those victories in high-pressure situations that could give them the confidence to take it into the playoffs. And as soon as they lost that incredibly close Game 1 against Team Liquid, right downhill, that team tilted again, which really has to hurt them. And I'm very surprised at how Team Liquid adjusted, came back to, and dealt with the pressure all season long. On a personal level for Piglet and on a team level as well. This is what happens in playoffs. Who steps up? Who can play to a new level? For CLG, they played worse than their regular season performance. For Team Liquid, they played substantially better. They played like there wasn't pressure on them for the most part. They were not making those mistakes, and they were making the plays. Backs against the wall, and they seem to know what to do. Well, right now we've got Freak at the Telestrator to help us break down Team Liquid's 3-0 quarterfinal sweep.
Thank you very much, Riv. Great cast in the day, and I want to talk about some of the individual contributors here of Team Liquid, because overall, the entire team played an amazing series overall, and a player I want to highlight is their mid laner, Phoenix, who finally rises from the ashes of a mediocre season and puts on a performance here in this game. I want to pull up a solo kill he has on Link, and let's just talk about the mechanics of how Phoenix gets his turret dive. So first of all, 2 things I want to preface with. Phoenix hits level 9. This is the big Vladimir power spike. He's got a 4-second cooldown Q. Life is glorious. Link also, when he plays this mid lane AD Ezreal, runs CDR per level glyphs. He has no magic resist at all. And at this point, the item builds are actually Vampire accepted for Phoenix and Tyrannus Sheen for Link. So combat stats not very good with Link either. The last thing to point out is how Link plays on the turret range, which is going to be about that big, roughly the range there. And just sort of watch how Phoenix plays the clip. So let's actually roll it out and just watch Phoenix's play. So first, Link plays aggressively, which he shouldn't do because he won't win this fight. Half health from a QE, and he's like, okay, I'm going to kill him. Low cooldown Q, ghost in turret range, Pops it with the pool. Link's too low now. He pops heal and flash to get away, but there's no way he's going to survive Phoenix at this point. Right, easy EQ to get away. Good tracking by Phoenix to chase him down, to flash to stay in range. That's definitely really, really great plays overall. But honestly, like, the difficulty is, Link misplayed it. He played aggressively in a matchup he couldn't play aggressively in anymore because of being out-leveled, and it was a great play by Phoenix. Overall, a very strong showing by Team Liquid, of course. The 3-0 individual contributions, really high from all the players here. But for now, we're going to send it off to Dash to talk to some of those winning players on Team Liquid.
Thank you, Freak. I'm joined by Liquid's Xpecial and Dominate. And guys, 3-0 victory over CLG, coming in red hot into the playoffs here. Dominate, how does it feel to come out with such a dominating victory?
It feels really good being able to win a series like this. I mean, they've had a much better regular season than us, so I feel like we were kind of the underdogs coming in, but historically we always perform really well against CLG, and we were able to take it home 3-0, which was a big confidence boost going into the next round.
And Xpecial, we've been asking ourselves all day, where was this Team Liquid for the entire regular season, and what happened in the last week that allowed you guys to come out so strong right now?
So something I've said a lot was that I felt like our team was really good, but there was little things off. And I felt like once everything clicked into place, the whole puzzle would come through. And once that one puzzle was missing, things wouldn't go right. And that's pretty much what happened. We saw glimpses of hope throughout the season, but because this thing would be off or this another thing would be off, we would just often lose a lead or throw early game, and we often lose really badly. But now that everything's in place, hopefully these wins are going to really mean that we win against C9 as well. But I remember last year, same exact situation actually, but we were 4th place and then we lost to C9. We got blown out 0-3 at playoffs, and we don't want that to repeat.
All right, so Dominic, we talk about this missing puzzle piece and what was the actual factor that goes into, everything coming to fruition. So was it communication? Was it synergy within the team? Was it just mechanical play individually across all the board? What were the actual factors that, we can attribute to that missing link?
Personally, I think it was communication. I think that was the biggest thing that we changed in the last week. We would have some problems with when we would take turret, when we wouldn't take turret, stuff like that. And now I felt like we were all really working together, and when we came to a decision, everyone was on board. It wasn't like 1 against 3 or something. It was like, okay, let's figure out the problem. Once the problem was figured out, we're going to act on it, and we could just execute. And I think that we're a really strong mechanical team, so if we have the strategy there and we have the good mindset, I think we should be able to win a lot of these games.
Yeah, and the cohesion there really showcased itself in the fact that you guys came into all 3 games with a very specific team comp in mind. Right, they all had very specific goals and purposes. So Xpecial, whereas the rest of the season we've been handing criticism out for the fact that you guys lacked an identity when it came to what you wanted to do during the game. You guys landed on 3 different identities here and executed them properly. What allowed you to do that?
Well, throughout the season, a best out of 1 game isn't going to help us showcase our team comps. You only get to play 1. I mean, you don't know if we have 5 or we have 2 or we have 1. But in a best out of 5, we can showcase anything we want, and we have potentially 5 games to showcase all our different team comps. And that's really where our pick and ban shine is, because we play a lot of champions, and that means that we have a lot of team comps, and there's plenty of stuff we haven't played yet still. So we're like a wild card team. In a best out of 1, maybe we can't shine, but in a best out of 5, I think we're definitely shining.
Absolutely. And Piglet had said in a video at the beginning of the day that he felt the team that won the first game was going to win the whole series. I mean, clearly that's the case. But Dominic, did you feel that so much of it hinged on how the result of the first game went?
I think it was a really tough game for them to lose because they had a pretty big edge. I couldn't tell exactly what the goalie was because I was playing, but it felt like maybe 3 or 4K at a point because they had so many turrets on us. And since we were able to come back from that and win team fights, I think it kind of they didn't really know what team comps were best, because obviously the first game you're going to play your strongest team comp or the one that you think is best blind into anything. And when they lost that game, I think they started doubting what team comps they ran best. And then they ended up picking Vladimir a lot throughout the series, and they kind of ended up stopping. When they came into the series, they thought it was a first pick worthy champion, and then they didn't even pick it in the last game. So I think it was just a series that, when you lose the first game, it kind of just mentally weighs on you throughout. It's like, okay, did we practice the optimal things? Do we have the right strategies? And I think that maybe the 5.5, 5.6 patch hurt them a little bit. I know that they like to favor a lot of bruisers, the Vi, the Lee Sin, the Jarvan, and all those champions are kind of weaker now. and tank junglers are stronger, and I don't know if they adapted to that as well as they should have.
And you talk about some individual play a little bit, and everyone on Team Liquid definitely stepped up. But as Freak mentioned, Phoenix, we've heard behind the scenes how great of a player he is in scrims, that he dominates everyone in lane. And we finally saw it happen out here on the stage and in one of the most high-pressure situations that he's played in. So, Xpecial, just, talk to me a little bit about that. What was his mindset coming in? Did he come in with, any kind of hesitancy, or was he, rearing to go, ready to show off?
It's hard to say. I think Phoenix is a really good player. We've always thought that. And the issue is that he wasn't able to bring it to LCS. And obviously today he showed off pretty hard. I mean, he styled on people. It was pretty crazy. We were all shocked. We were like, damn, this guy's finally going off just like we expected him to. And I think this is a huge confidence booster. And hopefully, he can carry this into the future games. And I think that was just one of his, he just finally broke out of his shell.
Yeah, absolutely. And so we're looking at the future games now because he is going to have to carry that through, but the whole team in general will have to. And you already touched a little bit on that C9 matchup, but Dominate, I want to get your thoughts as to what the team now needs to do with this great first win under their belt to, look towards that C9 matchup.
I think we just need to kind of readjust our pick ban to the C9 style. The C9 plays a lot differently than CLG, for example. They play a lot of Nidalee jungle and stuff like that. A lot more carry junglers and less bruiser champions. So I don't really expect them to pick much like Vi, Lee Sin, or probably Vi, but no Lee Sin, no Jarvan. That's not Meteos' style. So I think that for us, it's just we have to readjust our pick ban to fit what they do best. And since we do have a variety of comps we can play, we have to be able to choose which ones are best. We don't necessarily want to play into one of C9's best comps. I mean, they look really good with their Rumble, Zed, Nidalee comp that they practice so much. Those are all signature champions for their team. I think that if we just have a game where we are able to play on even footing, I think that we'll do a lot better than if we try to cater to their style and play exactly what they do.
And Xpecial, do you feel that being as diverse now as you guys are in your champion pool, I mean, we've seen it with Quas in the top lane playing just an extraordinary number of champions, now Phoenix in the mid lane, and, and across all roles, really. Do you feel like having that ability to play as many different team comps as you guys do is going to give you an advantage against a team like Cloud9, who does kind of tunnel in on those very specific team comps where they have a carry jungler and things like that, and they can't branch out so far as you guys can?
I definitely say that if you can play more champions, it's definitely better. But to say that C9, would be better against C9 or something like that, I'm not too sure, because the comps they play, maybe it's few, maybe it's only one or two, but they play them extremely well. So maybe if we ban them out, then we can get an advantage. But honestly, it's going to be up to what we decide to play and how our team comp stacks against theirs, and if we can find the right counter picks. And it's up to our picks and bans, which I think is fine. I think it's really good. And I think in the best of 5, even if we lose a game or two, we can adjust and ban or pick accordingly.
All right, well, gentlemen, before we go, I want to get your thoughts on tomorrow's matchup between Team Impulse and Gravity. How do you think that series is going to go?
I personally, my heart wants to go with Gravity, obviously, because those are all my friends. But I think Tip's style is really good against Gravity. In the regular season, they beat them twice, and both of the games were actually kind of blowouts. I think Rush went off in both of them, and I think that their style is really good against Gravity. So I want Gravity to win, but I don't know if they'll be able to deal with the style that Team Impulse plays.
Any thoughts to add?
Well, last time against a teammate Gravity game, I said Gravity was going to lose. So this time, I'm going to say Lena will win. We believe in our former sister team, and they can definitely pull off upset, as they've been doing this whole season. So I'm not going to doubt them now. Yeah,
we've seen it before. Well, gentlemen, I want to congratulate you on your 3-0 sweep there. It was definitely entertaining to watch, and wish you the best of luck in your preparation for your match against Cloud9. Now, for some final thoughts on the series, we're going back to the caster desk to check in with the guys.